Hey everybody, it's Amy Head with New Perspectives for Life. Today is Thursday, April 24th, 2014, and we have a beautiful day here in Marietta. It's the morning, it's about 9:40 in the morning here, but it's beautiful today, and we're looking forward to a great sunny day on this Thursday. I hope you're doing well wherever you are and that you've had a good week so far. I thought I would share with you something that's been going on in our neighborhood over the last few weeks, but has really kind of been making me think a little bit about how it is kind of like the counseling process. In our neighborhood, we got a letter months and months and months ago saying that there was going to be all this work going on. They were going to have to be digging up a lot of the sidewalks and yards and things like that, I guess to put in new water lines. I'm not even exactly sure. There's new fire hydrants going up, all this piping everywhere, straw, these big old machines and things doing all this work. Well, it's been going on for a while, but this week they finally got down on our street in front of our house. So we've actually been able to kind of see up close and hear it all going on, all the machinery, all the workers, everything going on. And it is a mess. There is just dirt everywhere and stuff everywhere. It's just crazy, and I don't know how long it's going to go, but it's been going on for a while. But being right in front of our house this week, I've really been able to kind of see the process, and it's really made me think a lot about the counseling process, because they are just, before all this work even happened, just as a regular resident in the neighborhood, it didn't even look like anything needed to be done. Everything looked like it was fine, looked like it was functioning, and even if it wasn't, we couldn't really tell. But apparently under the surface of the grass and the sidewalks and everything else, there have been issues going on underneath the surface that needed to be addressed. So that's what these companies are coming in and doing now. So, but when they come in, they just uproot everything, and for the whole workday, like basically like 8 to 5 or whatever the hours are, it's just a mess. It's hard to get in and out. There's just stuff everywhere. But then when about 5 o'clock comes or so, everything's kind of patched up. And if you had been gone all day, you wouldn't necessarily have even known how messy things had gotten. You can kind of tell there's some evidence, just all the dirt and stuff, all the tracking along the roads, but it's really put back together pretty well. But then the next day, here we go again, all uprooted and all a big mess, right? And it's kind of like the counseling process. Someone comes in, maybe on the surface it looked like things were okay, they were holding it together, they were managing, but really underneath the surface more was going on, and I guess finally it gets to a point in their lives where they think, I need some help. So they come in for counseling, and we kind of do a similar process to what's been going on in our neighborhood. We sort of get in, dig around, uproot some things, and it can get a little messy. And then we kind of patch it up by the end of the session to where they're able to go on out and leave the office and function again. And then when they come back next time, kind of the same thing. We uproot it a little bit again, get in there, dig in, get into the mess of things again, patch it back up at the end of the session, and then they go on for the rest of their week, and so on and so on. And I was thinking about that because at some point in our neighborhood, our street, the work on our street will be finished. Whatever the mess, whatever the patch up, day after day after day, eventually the work will be finished, and we're not going to see those work trucks and all those work crews in there every day, because they will have done what needed to be done, and it'll be done kind of for the long term. And it's sort of like the counseling process. When someone comes in for counseling, I see them maybe 3, 6, 10 times for sessions, and there's a lot of mess and a lot of work that's getting done. And sometimes it might seem like, gosh, it feels like we're making it worse before we get it better. But eventually it gets to where the person really isn't going to need to come in anymore, because we've sort of managed through and dealt with and worked through whatever it was that they came in for. And that's really a great thing, because as messy as it gets and as frustrating as it can be, you know that there will be a point where we did it. We accomplished the goal of why the person came in the first place. So it's kind of like you have to sort of get under the surface, uproot what's there, go through all that difficult time and work and mess, clean it up, and move forward. And that is a great thing, and that's where the hope comes in. Kind of a lot of us residents in our neighborhood are probably thinking, why even get into this? Was it really that necessary? I mean, we were able to function and live, and the yards looked decent, and everything was fine. Why do we need to do this? But there was stuff under the surface that needed to be addressed. And by doing that, it keeps things from having potential harm later, even worse than maybe what was already going on. Same thing for the counseling process. People might think, why am I going to get into all this? It's been going on forever. I'll just keep dealing with it. Well, there might be enough under the surface that could potentially be harmful even more later down the road. So it's better to come on in, let's dig in, let's clean up all the messes, let's work through those messes, and let's get to something that's cleaner and more fulfilling for you. So I hope that's helpful to kind of think about the counseling process, sort of like what's going on in our neighborhood. It's a big pain sometimes, it's very inconvenient sometimes, it's a mess a lot of times. But in the end, it gets things where they need to be. I hope you have a great rest of the day, a good start to the weekend tomorrow. I hope you have a great opportunity sometime this day or tomorrow or the weekend to kind of look at what might be something that's under the surface that maybe you've thought about looking at for a while, but you just haven't really wanted to because you know it's going to be a mess. But when you do, it will be better in the long run. Have a great start to the weekend tomorrow, and thanks so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.